Hello and welcome. 5 p.m. and today one. I mean, you don't need to. I don't need to tell you rather that the story at this point in time is what's going on. What's the end game? And plenty going on, and I will list out exactly where the matter stands as of now. From what we are getting to know is the meeting between the Pakistan Prime Minister and Mohsin Naqvi is very likely today. Sources from Pakistan are saying the meeting is likely in the evening. People are also saying that Pakistan and Bangladesh have given a series of demands, and I will tell you about some of them. At the same time, ICC is supposed to respond back to the PCB and the BCB based on the demands that have been put forward, and only then will this meeting happen because Pakistan is now waiting for the ICC to respond basis the demands that have been put forward. Once the ICC response comes in, only then will the meeting happen between the Pakistan Prime Minister and Mohsin Naqvi, and a final call will be taken. Either way, this will not be more than 24 hours, is what I understand, because it's now very near. Today is the 9th, tomorrow is the 10th. The match happens is on the 15th. People have to get to Colombo, sponsors have to get there. Lots of planning needs to be done. Emirates Airlines, for example, we are also being told, people will fly in. Lots of new flights can also be added. So a lot has to go on back channel. So I don't see this matter getting dragged on for more than 24 to 36 hours. But the ICC now has to respond. Now, what are some of the demands? Let me get into the specifics. We have all been saying that, okay, Pakistan has put forward a few demands, Bangladesh has put forward a few demands. Let's get one by one. Bangladesh, the one interesting demand that we are hearing at this point, and sources are confirming that they are saying that Bangladesh at this point, according to the ICC FTP, Bangladesh are co-hosts of the 2031 World Cup along with India. Bangladesh are co-hosts of that particular World Cup. Now the demand is that you have to extend the hybrid model right now from 2027 to 2031. At, now the hybrid model has been agreed on till 2027. The demand is that you have to extend the hybrid model right away up to 2031. And the moment you uh, extend the hybrid model up to 2031, Bangladesh will host all of Pakistan's games as part of the World Cup, which means 9 games. So Bangladesh will host all of the Pakistan games, the 9 games, and India Pakistan will also be hosted in Bangladesh. That's one of the demands. That make the hybrid model a permanent feature, extend the hybrid model from 2027 to 2031. Bangladesh has co-hosting rights of the 2031 World Cup, and given to the Pakistan versus India match will be staged there. The second thing that Bangladesh has said, and this is BCB's Charter of Demands. By the way, these are demands, not a single demand the ICC has clarified that they will meet. So let's not even get into it that the ICC will meet how many, etc., etc. Nothing like that has happened. There is no clarity on whether the ICC will meet even one demand. We are telling you exactly the hard news points as to what has transpired and how many demands and who has said what. The other demand that Bangladesh has given is they should be paid the participation rights money. They have asked that they should be paid the participation rights money for this particular World Cup, which was originally, obviously would have accrued to them had they participated, some $500,000, 4 5 crore rupees that per game. Or Bangladesh needs to be paid that participation rights money. They have also been saying that ICC cannot penalize them for anything. There can be no compensation that is uh, there can be no compensation that can be imposed on Bangladesh. Uh, there can be no compensation that can be imposed on Bangladesh. So that's the other demand. The third demand is that Bangladesh should be given the rights to host the 2028 Under 19 World Cup. So that's the third demand that we are getting, that Bangladesh has kind of put forward. So these are some of the demands that the Bangladesh Cricket Board has. These are some of the demands that the Bangladesh Cricket Board has put forward in front of the ICC. Now coming to the Pakistan ones. Pakistan's are also okay. What is the background to that? The Sri Lankan Cricket Board has written a letter, and that everybody knows. The United Arab Emirates Cricket Board, the ECB, has also written a letter, the Emirates Cricket Board, where they have made some very strong points, clearly saying that Pakistan at this point in time cannot, leave them in the lurch and walk away. The UAE cricket establishment has claimed that at a time when Pakistan cricket was in crisis, at a time when Pakistan needed the logistical support, the infrastructural support, and all of this support, the UAE Cricket Board had come forward to bail Pakistan out. So that is one of the reasons why Pakistan should also reciprocate and kind of help out the UAE. That's the point that the United Arab Emirates Board has also made. Now, this is interesting here because and the UAE board, by the way, is a key player because Dubai happens to be a key venue. Dubai happens to be a key venue where a lot of Pakistan games have been played in Dubai. A lot of the tournaments, the Asia Cup played in Dubai, the ICC Champions Trophy played in Dubai. A lot of these matches have been played in Dubai in the recent past. And the Pakistan board has used the UAE infrastructural facilities to a significant extent. So the UAE writing this letter makes it more significant at the back of what the Sri Lankan board has written. Now, you must understand where this matter stands now. So, the Sri Lankan board has written that look, we will suffer tourism loss, we will suffer hospitality sector loss, we will suffer monetary loss because the ICC revenue that is used to fund all these boards will come down. Now, Bangladesh will also suffer similar losses. So, they have also said the same that, you know what, they've also made their own demands, plus saying that if this match doesn't go on, Bangladesh Cricket Board also stands to lose X amount of money. Now the UAE Cricket Board has come forward and said that you have to stand up for world cricket. You cannot let the associate member countries down. The moment you say that you cannot let the associate member countries down, you're kind of ring fenced. Pakistan is in the middle. Bangladesh is saying we'll lose. Sri Lanka is saying we'll lose. UAE's cricket board is saying we will lose. So Pakistan, BCCI has not said anything, by the way. Now the Pakistan Cricket Board has to figure out a way forward. The Pakistan Cricket Board has put forward these demands. Like I told you, hybrid model has to be extended till 2031. They have also said that if a country cites government involvement and says it cannot go to a particular country, that country cannot be taken out of the World Cup, like it was done in the case of Bangladesh. These are some of the demands, and the bilateral etc. point are ridiculous. I mean, there's no way an ICC delegation can even dwell on a Bangladesh India versus Pakistan bilateral. How can an ICC delegation which has gone to Colombo to talk about one particular game even have any relevance whatsoever, have any weightage on an India-Pakistan bilateral? And by the way, one doesn't need to be a politician or to say that India-Pakistan bilateral is not even on the cards. It's not even on the table. So that point I'm not getting into. But what Pakistan has said, no compensation from Bangladesh, do not penalize Bangladesh for this particular World Cup, and you have to be kind of fair to them. And going forward, they have also suggested that in case a country, in this case Bangladesh, says that government has not given permission to tour a particular country, then you cannot penalize that particular country. So these are some of the demands that have been placed before the ICC. From what we are now getting is the ICC will kind of come back to some of these demands by today. Imran Khwaja and Mubashir Usmani represented the ICC. Imran was physically in Lahore. Mubashir, from what I know, was represented virtually, was representing him ICC virtually. Now, Imran Khwaja is supposed to get back on all of these points and giving the Pakistan board and Bangladesh board a clarity as to where ICC stands. Now, a lot of these points, including money, compensation, these are not to be decided anywhere else but the ICC board. So a board meeting has to be convened, and only after that can the ICC sort of give in to any of these demands. Secondly, if you would go through these demands, hybrid model, more money, 28 World Cup, the no compensation, paying of the money that is owed to a participating nation, you might have to say that if the ICC gives in to these demands, then there is a problem. There is a problem because if the ICC does give in to these demands, then you are actually creating a Pandora's box. That suppose you say, okay, a country will say, this country has a problem, my government doesn't give permission, we won't go. There's no end to this. So suppose 3 weeks before a World Cup, a problem like this crops up. Another time we will have the game held to ransom. Another time we will have this entire drama revisited. We will keep pushing the game and the boundaries of the game and the edge of the game. These things can't really to what extent will the ICC be bilateral? No way. Can you, all of a sudden suggest that the 2028 under 19 World Cup be given to Bangladesh? Can you suggest that the India tour will go on? Can you suggest that 2031, for that matter, where the hybrid model will be extended? These things can't really be done like that. I mean, you can place a demand because that's how negotiations happen. But in one day, for the ICC to come back, and if you ask me, my informed guess, and this is a guess, my informed guess is, except saying Bangladesh will not be penalized, Bangladesh will not be asked to pay a compensation or asked to pay a heavy fine, I don't see ICC giving in to a single of these demands. And I'm making it clear, I don't see ICC giving in to a single one of these demands that have been made by either Bangladesh or Pakistan, except the one which says that Bangladesh will not have to pay a monetary compensation or a monetary fine. That the limited thing on the table is, are you playing this match, are you not? Then Pakistan will be left with two things. They'll have to spin a narrative. They'll have to kind of decide first whether they will play the game or not. At this point, as I'm saying, 85-15 is what I understand, maybe even 90-10. 85-15 is more realistic in favor of the match happening and not happening. So 85-15 is my understanding of the game going on versus the game not happening. Secondly, like I said, this is the probability quotient as far as I'm concerned. Secondly, I would suggest that Pakistan will now have to figure out a way whereby the fact that the prime minister had made these points, the prime minister is on record in a public video which has gone viral around the world, saying that they are not going to play the India game. So the prime minister's position has to be safeguarded. The prime minister's position has to be kind of protected to a degree. The prime minister's position has to be salvaged, redeemed in to some extent. So keeping that in mind, how does Pakistan do that? What will be the narrative that will be spun to protect the Pakistan premier's position? I think four things will be done. Number one, Pakistan will say that, you know what? Okay, update. No. Pakistan will say that we have now been given a letter by the Sri Lankan board. So there is an appeal from the Sri Lankan board, which says that, for the sake of world cricket, for the sake of world sport, our hospitality, our tourism, and all of these sectors, you come. Emirates, again, has been a long-standing partner of ours. For the sake of cricket, for the sake of the partnership between Pakistan and UAE, chalo, let's reconsider. Bangladesh will not be penalized by the ICC, so we have been able to stand protector for Bangladesh. Let's reconsider. So, and finally, all of the associate member countries who make money from this, let's reconsider. Will So it will be one case of political posturing and grandstanding, because once the prime minister has said something, think about it, to overturn that, to kind of go back on what the PM has said, to change that, do a U-turn, go back to the PM, convince him that, oh, you know what, despite you having made a public pronouncement, we have decided to go ahead and hold the match, is something quite difficult to achieve. And in order to achieve that, you have to have a very solid narrative in front of you with which you can convince your domestic electorate. That's where Pakistan finds itself. And as far as the ICC is concerned, I don't see ICC giving into more money without a board meeting. This was revised under blackmail. Will the ICC give in anything? Under threat, will the ICC give in anything? Extend the hybrid model till 2031 without a proper board meeting, without a proper approval of the board? Will any of this stuff happen? My understanding is it doesn't happen like that. Yes, maybe the ICC could agree, okay, we will table it as an agenda. But we also know that within the ICC board, neither Pakistan nor Bangladesh, neither of them have a single vote. They were outvoted, outsmarted, outdone at the ICC board 14-2. So that is what the decision was at that level. So when I look at what has transpired, and I'm being continuously told that match is more than likely at this point in time, and rather than less likely, I actually think that this will go down to the wire. If you ask me, I actually think this will go down to the wire. There will be more drama because I don't see the ICC giving in to any unfair demand. ICC giving in to blackmail. Suppose the ICC gives in to increased revenue share. Alright? So you decide to boycott a match of the World Cup and you make a demand, and thereafter you get the revenue share increase. So more people will do that. You hold the game by the jugular, you hold the game by the throat, and you make a demand which is a kind of blackmail, and then you kind of raise your monetary share. I don't see the ICC giving in to that. uh, I don't think that's happening. Hybrid model, that's the way forward. ICC for the last 4 years, if you actually see the Pakistan demand for money, that has been the 6% or the 6.5%, whatever Pakistan gets. That kind of demand has been carrying on since the time of Ramiz Raja. So it's not a new demand that Mohsin Naqvi is making. That demand that give us more money has been continuing for a while since the time of Ramiz Raja. The share was increased, I think, from 4.5, 5 to 6, 6.5, a couple of years back. So a little bit of the share was increased by the ICC, but I don't see the ICC majorly giving in and agreeing to any of the Pakistan board's demands. Then how do they spin it? They will spin it as a political posturing. That's what they will do to cater to the domestic constituency in Pakistan, to cater to the political electorate of Pakistan. Mohsin Naqvi will have to portray himself as a strongman. Now, how does Naqvi do that? He will say, because of the request from Sri Lanka, because of the request from Bangladesh, because of the request from the UAE, because of the request from associate member nations, we decided to do this and go and request the Honorable Prime Minister to change his stand for the sake of global cricket. Look how Pakistan has elevated itself to being an important nation among all of these nations and is protecting the edifice of the game. That's the way he will kind of do his grandstanding. The other thing, well, they will want to shape the narrative is the ICC delegation visited Pakistan. I have already been inundated with some, kind of messages that people have forwarded to me saying that the Pakistani Janta, they are being fed the narrative that look, an ICC delegation had to visit Bangladesh to Pakistan to meet Mohsin Naqvi. We have been able to convince the ICC to try and come to our soil, to try and meet some of our demands, to try and sit down with us on the negotiating table. That itself is a big, big bargaining chip from the standpoint of PCB. What they are completely forgotten or forgetting is the fact that ICC is the governance body. Secondly, before Bangladesh took the call, before Bangladesh decided to withdraw from the World Cup, if you remember, Bangladesh also had an ICC delegation visiting that country. Bangladesh had an ICC delegation speak to them on digital, on social media, on Zoom, or whatever it is, on virtual. And an ICC delegation also visited Bangladesh to try and convince them that there is no real security threat on Indian soil. So it is not as if there has been no attempt by the ICC to try and get these boards to see reason. So for Pakistan to tom tom, for Pakistan to claim, for Pakistan to go ballistic that they have been able to get an ICC delegation to their country, frankly means zero. Frankly means absolute zero. An ICC delegation naturally would have gone, they would have engaged. Imran Khwaja was sent for that. Mubashir Usmani happens to be close to both Pakistan and India. And it was only natural that he would kind of do that. So there is nothing that one can read into an ICC delegation traveling to Pakistan. It had happened exactly the same way with Bangladesh before the ICC decided to remove Bangladesh from the World Cup, when they did not move away from the stand of obstinacy that they will not travel to India, they will want to take their matches to Sri Lanka. So this is the whole grid if you want to understand. And now what's the way forward? What's the way forward is pretty simple. Pakistan sources tell me that Pakistan is actually waiting for a response from the ICC. Based on the demands that have been put forward to the ICC, they are waiting for a response from the ICC. On the other hand, I'm getting to know that there is a meeting or could be a meeting between Mohsin Naqvi and the Pakistan Prime Minister. And thereafter, in the next 24 hours, a clear call would be taken, which at this point is more likely towards saying that the game will go on rather than saying that the game will not go on. So this is the entire grid. Again, there are hundreds of questions. Let me try and take as many as possible. Let me try and see from the bottom today, because it inevitably happens that by the time I go up, half the questions at the bottom get missed out. Shehzad Osma Lover. Boria sir, you're too naive to think ICC wouldn't give in to these demands. Same ICC which agreed to the hybrid model don't have high hopes from broadcaster controlled ICC. Short side. I don't think so. The absolutely don't think so, Shehzad, because the hybrid model was agreed upon after much deliberation, and the hybrid model was a political expediency. None of this is a political expediency. To give in to Bangladesh's demand of hosting 28, give Pakistan more money to finalize 2031. None of this is a political expediency. The ICC will go on and impose sanctions, and will go on and impose multiple different kinds of sanctions on Pakistan if need be, if they do not agree to play. I don't think the situations are similar. ICC should not succumb to Pakistan blackmailing, sanction them for 5 years. It doesn't happen with emotion. They are the governance body of the game, VG0001. They will try and see reason. They will try and give Pakistan reason, tell them what the real picture is, and thereafter, like the negotiations are on, they will try to figure out a solution from all of this. Sanctioning will not help anyone. Today you sanction Pakistan, you sanction Bangladesh, tomorrow you sanction someone else. Sanctioning will not help world cricket one bit. So if you sanction somebody, what will it work for? Nothing. Best will be agreed to PCB now, and after the World Cup, do voting and vote out the demands. It doesn't happen like that in international governance. I'm sorry. Why journalists like Shahid Hashmi, cricketers like Saklan, why they are blaming pitches, saying ICC, which is Indian Cricket Council, will not give spinning pitches to Pakistan? Bullshit. Absolute utter nonsense. Shahid is in Sri Lanka. I have not heard anything like this from Shahid. But if anybody is blaming the pitches, why should anybody give spinning wickets or whatever wickets? The wickets in this World Cup, look at the game that India played. Did India get a wicket which was like Vizag, a kind of Pata wicket where Indian batters came and scored 300 runs? No, they got a wicket which was challenging. They were reduced to 76 for 7, and it was a Herculean ask for India. You sound more as a radical fan than a cricket fan. Ban BCCI. What? Who are you talking about? Ajay, you must be talking about somebody else. You must be talking about somebody else. Let me actually go to the start and see why is what Pakistan is doing is not called blackmailing. To a degree, to a degree, it's negotiation. In international sport, it is negotiation. And by the way, ICC has thrown them the rule book as well. So it's not as if ICC hasn't done their part and not been stern. ICC has been pretty strong and pretty smart and pretty stern in giving Pakistan the rule book and saying, hello, smell the coffee and read the writing on the wall. Your selective force majeure doesn't really work. So Vikramaditya, that's the ICC thing. Akshat Charchilkar, if Pakistan do stand on their boycott decision, should they be thrown out? There will be sanctions, monetary sanction, commercial sanction. There will be legal cases which will be filed against the PCB by the broadcaster for sure. And the broadcaster, I'm sure, will make the ICC a party to that as well, whereby the ICC will also happen to kind of bring Pakistan within the thing. So there will be commercial, there will be legal, there will be monetary, multiple different kinds of consideration. Akshit, the demands PCB has put forward to ICC is the worst. Yeah, I mean, you can say that some of them like bilateral, etc., which, by the way, there is no clarity on that demand. So Pakistan will do the grandstanding, Akshat, and that's something that you have to expect because they need a way out. Their prime minister is on record. How do you protect the sanctity of that chair that the prime minister's office did a U-turn? Ashu Trivedi, ICC, BCCI begging to PCB, Pakistan media. Pakistan media is bloody delusional. Why do you take Pakistan media seriously? The domestic constituency has to be catered to. Where if anybody was begging, Bangladesh would have been accommodated in the World Cup. The ICC vote would not have been lost 14-2. That was a resounding slap on the face, saying 14-2. That is what it was. Complete demolition of that act. 14-2 loss. Thereafter, throwing Bangladesh out of the World Cup, getting Scotland in because of the political obstinacy. Not Pakistan wanted to support Bangladesh. No way was Bangladesh included. So where is the question of begging anyone? And by the way, as I said, There was a delegation that went to Bangladesh, a delegation has gone to Pakistan, and Pakistan. So this whole narrative that the Pakistan media, and what else can they do? They can't even criticize. I mean, it is a country where Pakistan media themselves have told me that every call is monitored, every action is gagged. Multiple people have told me that look, it is very difficult to talk because every action can be monitored and accreditations can be cancelled. That's the truth in Pakistan. What leverage does Bangladesh have to negotiate and demand with the ICC? No leverage. What the leverage is Pakistan. And because of Pakistan, the two have come together. And the two have come together to try and push the ICC. And they realize that, okay, this is a time if the ICC can be brought to, made to come to the negotiating table and they can ask for some concessions. And that's their only leverage because Pakistan has to play big brother. Do not forget Brute Street. 2 days later, 2 days later is the Bangladesh elections. Today is the 9th. 12th is the Bangladesh election. If Jamaat wins, it will go one direction. If the others win, BNP wins, it will go the other direction. From what I understand from people in Bangladesh, chances are, if there is a free and fair election, BNP will win with the Awami League support. So if the army supports Jamaat, that's a different matter. People in Bangladesh tell me that they are afraid of a free and fair elections, and the geopolitics of South Asia at this point is such that Pakistan has to play big brother to Bangladesh to try and move the radical fundamentalist section. So Brute Street never for once treat this matter in isolation, treat it as the part of a larger picture of the Bangladesh geopolitical scenario. Raghavendra Kiran, don't you think PCB will do the same drama in coming ICC tournaments? You can't do the same drama multiple times because that's why you've asked for a hybrid model extension, etc., etc. You can't because people then the drama loses its charm. People won't take you seriously. Nepal can challenge any team. Syed Nizamuddin, they played really good cricket, and you could see the fear in the eyes of Harry Brook and Joss Butler and some of the others when Sam Curran nailed Yorker after Yorker. There was a degree of relief. Bakri is ranting about you. Who's Bakri? Don't know who's Bakri. And by the way, whoever is ranting is welcome to rant. I don't care for such people, and how do I care for people's rant? Who the hell cares, boss? He can. I wish him two flying Fs. Shiva, whatever. I only wish the ICC don't give in to the demands of the PCB. Absolutely, you can be sure no unreasonable demand will be given in. That is what the ICC response was about. They told the PCB in no uncertain terms that the force majeure can be contested and will be contested, that there are certain clauses the force majeure cannot be applicable. Then it would have boiled down to a legal fight. It would have gone down to CAS. Neither side, because then the negotiation was not even needed. Why would Pakistan want a negotiation? They could have held firm, saying, no, 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 we don't care. We won't play. We will not welcome an ICC delegation or anybody to come to Pakistan. We've taken our call. Get lost. We are not going to play. The fact that there was negotiation tells you that they wanted to come to the negotiating table. There is no way that they will give in to Pakistan's demands. Kartikeya Tiwari, so scared. Nobody is scared of anybody. Kartikeya, I mean, I think you're living in a fool's paradise to think that Jay or anybody is scared. Doesn't care two hoots. At the head of a global governance body, there are certain principles of governance that one has to follow, and that's what they are doing. Shanto, Pakistan, Bangladesh, brother country, same religion. Good. Good. Between 1971 and 2024, they were still the same religion. There was still the same culture. There was still whatever. The two countries did not even want to see eye to eye. I don't think you know your history. I do. Bangladesh wasn't even recognized by Pakistan for the longest time, and thereafter the relationship was at its worst. So kindly learn something and know something before you come and talk. Anushmita, if they don't play, how come BCB can demand participation money? That's what it is. That, oh, you know what, we've been unfairly penalized or been thrown out, so kindly give us our participation money. Ultimately, that money is what is going to run Bangladesh cricket. So you have to kind of protect your own people if you want to do some kind of grandstanding, Anushmita. Nepal, I've taken that. Ankur, do you think ICC will take some steps to avoid this bizarre situation? 100%. Firstly, the broadcaster will step in. I think the leverage of an India-Pakistan game will go down. I think they have to recalibrate that big time because you cannot depend on a rogue country, because you cannot let the game be held to ransom and this drama continue. Imagine if you're a fan. Do you go? Do you not go? Do you cancel your flight? Do you not? Do you keep your hotel booking? Do you not? How do you make plans? Nobody really knows what's going on. Sam, Shanto, yes, we remember our history, and that is what I pointed out to him. Basically, they utilized the Mustafiz mistake by BCCI and the manner it was handled to fill their coffers with money from India and claim victory against India. I don't think they will get a single penny. They will not get any penny like that. The only thing that will come Bangladesh's way or can is they will not be levied a fine or a compensation, and they will not be penalized for the non-participation in the World Cup. Nothing else will accrue to them. In fact, if there is one loser, if there is one big blunder loser in this whole matter, that is the Bangladesh Cricket Board. They could have fought the BCCI, stopped the IPL, stopped players from participating in the IPL, stop broadcast, do all that. They made a fight with BCCI, a fight against the ICC, a fight against world cricket, and in doing so, it was a humongous blunder on the part of the BCB. नकवी ने हमारे पीएम की बेइज्जती करवा रखी है, पैसे के लिए हाँ कर रहा, हाथ मिलाने के लिए हम क्यों तरस रहे इंडिया से, बांग्लादेश को भर करा इसलिए बॉयकॉट. I didn't even understand that question, boss. I know what Natvi is also a cricket administrator. He's also trying to solve. Bangladesh is putting pressure. Sri Lanka is putting pressure. UAE is putting pressure. So there is enormous amount of pressure on Pakistan to try and solve it. Indians will just bow. Indira Gandhi, I don't think what you're talking about, Kartike. There is no need to get emotional at all. I don't think anybody has bowed before anybody. You guys have been discussing this issue more than World Cup matches. Oh, you're being sarcastic. This is the issue because this runs world cricket. This governs world cricket. You must understand this. You must understand that this issue will govern world cricket going forward. The entire associate member countries. That's why letters are being written. And by the way, not we are not ignoring any match. We've got people on ground. We've got even today Scotland and Italy played in Calcutta. We had Mohor and Shourjani from Rev Sports at the ground doing multiple stories. All you need to do, Atul 9734, is go to the website, read. Before you make your comment and shoot your mouth off, you must go to the website and check out what the coverage has been all about before you come and say what you are. Okay. Too many questions. दोनों कटोरा मास्टर्स ये क्या है, मतलब समझ नहीं आया. India Pakistan had a reality check. Both the associate teams played well. That's a very fair point. Okay, yes, give me the super chat. In hindsight, do you think ICC could have handled the BCB issue better? No, I don't think so. I think the BCB could have handled that issue much better. They could have fought against India. They could have had an issue, and I don't take this at all that BCB did have an issue on the Mustafi's point. They could have fought against the BCCI, could have done whatever they wanted to rally the ICC board against the BCCI and the IPL, could have fought it out. But to make the ICC a party to this whole drama, to make the world cricket a party to this whole drama, I thought they could have handled, the BCB could have handled the matter much better. The ICC on its part showed patience, Vipul Joshi. The ICC did show a lot of patience actually. They tried to engage the BCB. They went to Bangladesh. They engaged the BCB multiple times on virtual. I don't see the ICC not having shown patience as the World Cricket governing body. They showed enough and more patience. They tried to reason out. They did not want any team to go out and not give them the opportunity. But finally, Bangladesh wrote their own fate. They decided not to see reason. They decided not to follow the assessment of independent experts. They decided to make it a political issue, and they lost out. So I actually don't think the ICC could have handled it any better. ICC will only agree for handshake information with BCCI. Jai Shah, ICC likes kata hua kela. That's why. Come on here. I mean, talk sense. The Pakistan PM has demeaned himself in geopolitical scenarios number of times before. It's evident that Pakistan will play, but Naqvi will play winner in the bargain. Yeah, it will become a game of much grandstanding. That's what I am kind of hearing as well. It will become a game. It will become a game of political grandstanding for sure. Absolutely political grandstanding for sure. India Pakistan had a reality check. Yes, both the associate member countries, whether it's the US, whether it's Netherlands, both played very, very well. Shahzad, I've taken your question at the start. Only given to blackmail or the BCCI. There is no question. BCCI has not even said a word. Not even said a word. This is an ICC matter. BCCI has been completely silent. BCCI has only booked India's flights. They know Indian team is traveling. Surya made that very clear in that tongue-in-cheek remark. The BCCI has not said a word. But at the same time, they command 18,500 crores of revenue. They are the most powerful, and if they ring fence Pakistan with other boards, that's how democracy works. That's how political maneuvering works. So don't be surprised if the BCCI does that, and they have every right to do so. India generates all the money, Pakistan wants to go away, let them go away. Yeah, that is one argument. But ICC has not shown that argument at all. ICC has been reasonable. ICC is trying to engage. ICC is trying to make sure that the World Cup is played in proper sanctity and that everybody plays. Uh, Honestly, after Operation Sindoor, when India still decided to continue playing cricket, it's all hype and drama for extra money. I don't think so. Because if you don't play, then there is no way you can host a single international event. And you would have taken a stand, okay, we will not play with particular countries like Pakistan. Then there is no Commonwealth Games, no Olympic Games, no usage of sport as soft power. Pakistan can't do this. You must understand, Pakistan in their lifetime will never be able to host an Olympic Games. Pakistan in their lifetime will never be able to host a major international event of multidiscipline sport. India can. India is the leading global power, one of the major economies. India can in the global south. So for India to try and do it makes a hell lot of sense. So that's where the sports policy came post Operation Sindoor. Okay, Uday Pratap Singh. I'll take 4, 5 more questions and end the show. Earlier, make Nepal, Afghanistan, Balochistan big. Nepal is already big. You must understand this. Nepal is already big in terms of cricket market. I've done multiple kind of interviews and research on Nepal cricket. Had done a show with Paras Khadka. Had done a show with a couple of Nepali cricketers. And the kind of market that there exists also for the women's game in Nepal is pretty massive. So it is not a question. It's not a new thing. It's not a new thing that they will become a market. They are already a market. The ICC needs to tap into these markets big time going forward. Okay, let me kind of wrap the show now. Nobody's talking about cricket. This is cricket. Sports and politics always mixes, my friend. Sports and politics always mixes. Anybody says to the contrary is actually lying. Okay, so I will finish this with the statement that thousands of questions, no more, boss. With the thing that Scotland versus Italy, there was some really lovely stories which have been filed on our website. Tomorrow, India practices at 6 p.m. in the evening at the Arun Jaitley Stadium. Gargi Raut and Rohit Juglan will be on ground for us in Delhi. Shomik Chakraborty is already in Colombo. He is tracking the Pakistan versus US game. Remember the last World Cup, the United States beat Pakistan in that match. Salman Mirza has said that that match is now history. Pakistan has learned its lessons and will play a different game tomorrow. It has to be seen if the US did what they did against India. Can they push Pakistan, even beat them? The game is at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Shomik Chakraborty will track that. At the Asian Shooting Championship, Manu Bhaker back on the podium after a kind of a hiatus. She was tied for the first position. There was a shoot off. Manu lost that shoot off to get silver. Isha Singh finished with bronze after finishing with 589 in the qualifiers. So that was a spectacular qualifying effort from Isha Singh. So that's the Asian Shooting Championship, shotgun and rifle, that is going on in Delhi. For that also, Abhishek Mishra, he is there in Delhi at the shooting range and he's filing all his videos and reports from there. So do take a look at that. Rahul Giri and Shomnath has started filing ISL reports and videos. We will do a proper build up to the ISL as well. So multi-sport coverage continues on Rev Sports. While this particular story, the Pakistan story, we will track very, very closely because the larger geopolitical scenario is definitely impacting this particular move. That's all I have for this particular show. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back with you tomorrow.